Guys, welcome back to my channel. I am filming 3 eye looks for you today, and I ended up with this last one. I did 3 different looks, one on one eye, one on the other, and then this one is the last one. And I'm actually testing out the Natasha Denona bronze palette. This is what it looks like in the inside. Oh, she is actually very, very pretty. I loved actually using this palette. It is up my alley, and the shades that are the glitter shades are super pretty. I will go ahead and swatch a few of them for you. And you can see these are 5 of them. There is actually 9 of them, and they're just very consistent and they're very pigmented. I tried using as much shadow shades as I could from the palette just to kind of give you a different idea. I did a simple eye, I did kind of like a medium, and then I also did this eye, which I am loving. The only thing that I had to go out of this palette was the Biba palette and the gold palette, but which you will see. And then on my lips, I have the Pat-McGrath balms on, and I am using the 2 shades Passion Flower and Gold Astral. It is so pretty. I love it. So I hope you guys, if you want to stay tuned, please feel free to leave me any comments in the comment section below. Please also give me a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you guys in the next one. And let's get into the video. I wonder if this water will make me look beautiful. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am going to be testing out a new eyeshadow palette today, and that eyeshadow palette is from Natasha Denona, which is the bronze palette. I did pick this up from Sephora. The last time I actually ordered something from Natasha Denona and had it shipped, it was kind of a nightmare. I had to be home. I've never had to be home for like a package to be delivered, and it was just a nightmare, and it came late. And that was the Love palette. So I actually had to meet the delivery guy at a gas station because he didn't want to wait at my house 5 minutes. This is what the palette looks like. This is the packaging. The normal Natasha Denona, the smaller size palette, and then the shades in the inside. I wasn't sure if I really was going to pick this up, but I figured I should just because I do have the Love palette, I have the Biba palette, I have the Gold palette, and then I have a bunch of the minis. So I have been really loving her eyeshadows, and I wanted to do a 3 look with this palette, and I wanted to start with like a minimal, a little bit more intense, and then maybe like I don't know, I want to do something a little bit more intense, maybe like a spotlight or a cut crease. I don't know yet. I haven't really made up my mind as of yet. I wanted to show these shadows. I know that this is a neutral palette, but it's definitely not just a neutral palette. So as you can see, it does have some really pretty colors, and my camera is not actually bringing out the beauty of some of these shades. While I was also at Sephora, I did pick up 2 of the Pat-McGrath balms, and they are the shades Passion Flower and also Gold Astral. I've only owned one thing from Pat-McGrath so far besides for the concealer. I have the lip gloss and the Coralism, and this is the first lipstick that I have, or like a lip color besides for that. And look at the packaging. This is awesome. I mean, it's very nicely made, definitely has some weight to it, and I'm excited. This is what the shade looks like. I did actually wear it with the other shade, and it is really, really pretty. I'll swatch it, and it just gives like a glow or like a glitter, and it is really, really pretty. Maybe I'll wear it today with my last look. And then same thing with the packaging. This is the shade Passion Flower. Not a lot of color actually in the bullet, as you can see. This is what the amount is in here, and you can barely see it, but it is really pretty. It just brings out your color of your lips. And if you actually put the two together on top of each other, it is really, really pretty. I'll do that at the end. And then the last thing that I did pick up was a Natasha Denona Chroma Crystal Liquid Eyeshadow. Picked up the shade Zone, and I'm sure you guys know what this looks like. Glass packaging. And to get the product out, you twist, and it's a doe foot. And this stuff is supposed to be pretty intense and also stays on your skin for a very long time, or on your eyes. And that's what that looks like. And it's definitely going to work with a lot of her eyeshadow palettes. Or if you just want to use it alone as a cream shadow and blend it out. So I'm drinking this Beauty Collagen from Vital Proteins. I think that's what it is. And I've been enjoying this. I really hope that my skin definitely is a lot nicer. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start out with a pretty easy look first, and then I'll do one eye pretty easy, next eye a little bit more intense, and then we'll end up the last look on both of the eyes for the same look. And I wanna try to use as many shadows from this palette as well. That's why I wanna try this out. So I'm gonna go in. First shadow I wanna use is Sunburn and a Sigma E40. And I'm going to put a lot of product on this brush. There is a little bit of kickback on the pan, as you can see, but definitely a lot of shadow on the brush. So let's go ahead and start with this eye first. I did put the Pat-McGrath concealer on my eyes and also carved out my brows. And I actually have to say, with using this concealer just a couple times, that I have been really, really liking this concealer a lot. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this shadow in my crease. This is definitely a different look of a shadow than what I thought from the pan. I'm gonna bring this a little bit higher in my crease as well. And let's pull it out from the back and do some circular motions. Really like this shade so far. I'm into the orange shade, hence my nice orange shirt. I'm just gonna do some windshields and a little bit of circles. I'm gonna pull this shadow pretty far out and up in my crease, almost touching the brow bone. And then I'll just blend it up towards the brow bone in the front here to accentuate everything. And then just keep building up the shade. I'm gonna use a Morphe E36 brush, the same shade Sundown. And let's put this on the lower lash line. And I'm just gonna go back in with that Sigma E40 brush and blend it down just a little bit. I did use the Kat Von D, the 24 brow setter, and I like it. Now with me having darker hair again, I can actually start using a little bit more. So I'm just blowing this out, bringing it down pretty far. And I'm just gonna pick up a little bit more, and let's go down and bring it out pretty far. I kind of want to use one of these glitter shades just to try it out for my lid. There's so many of them and they are so pretty. Very pretty. So this is True Copper, this is Alloy, True Bronze, and Silk. I wonder if this would be like the best one. More of like an orangey look. I just cleaned all my brushes, so I'm trying to find my brush. All right, let's go ahead and let's use a MAC 242 brush. An oldie, but a very good loved goodie. And let's go ahead and let's apply True Copper. And let's see if it holds up to the name True Copper. It's a very soft shade, and I barely even put my brush into the palette, and it definitely picked up a lot of pigment. Oh man. This thing is a very, very pretty shadow. I don't know if you can see that, but damn. I'm gonna bring this actually higher in my crease as well, and just blending it out a little bit. This is really pretty. Just gonna use a clean Morphe M441 brush and blend that shade out a little bit. This is really nice. Going to use a Sigma F63 brush, and let's try deepening up the outer edge a little bit through here in the C. Let's just use something pretty simple. Let's use Suntan, and I'm going to barely tap my brush in here and tap some of it off, and let's just deepen the outer corner just very lightly. I'm just going to try keeping it closer to my lash line out here just to elongate it. And then I'll go back in with Suntan again, and we'll put a little bit of this on the lower lash line. There isn't a lot of inner corners and brow highlight colors, so I'm going to use Beach right here. It looks like the lightest shade. And then I'll put a little bit of Silk on top for the inner corner. For the brow, I'm going to use a E47 brush and a little bit of that Beach shade. Tap it off. And this just mattes it down just a little bit. It's actually a pretty color. Very nice. And then I will use the MAC 242 again, but I'll use the opposite side. And then we'll go into Silk. And that will definitely bring the inner corner some glow and tie in with the True Copper shade. I'll bring this up just a little bit in the front here. And then this is what the first eye looks like. I like it. It looks really nice. Definitely a lot simpler and something that you could use every single day. Just toss on some mascara and maybe a lash, and this is definitely nice. So this is what the first eye looks like. I'll scooch in. Really pretty. I like this. Definitely a lot of glow. And I'll be right back. I'll go put some mascara on, and then we can show this one as a final and move on with the second eye. Alright guys, so I did put some mascara on, and I used the NARS Climax mascara. And then for the waterline, I also used Marc Jacobs Pink of Me, and this is the final look for look number 1. As I said, very simple, easy to use every single day, and definitely did not take me very long. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to work on this eye, and let's make it a little bit more intense. Maybe, I don't know, maybe a wing for this one, and let's dive in. So on a Sigma E40, I'm going to go into the shade Beach. We're going to go ahead and put this in the crease. Same thing, kind of bringing it up a little bit higher as well in the crease and bringing it up to the brow in the front. Maybe let's wing it out a little bit. And then I'll take the same color and the same brush, and we'll put this on the lower lash line from the inner corner to the outer corner. And these shades are performing very, very nice. They are so creamy. They're just like the rest of Natasha Denona's shadows. I am happy that I did actually end up getting this in my collection. I was told that this was the last palette at the store when I picked it up, and I literally was there the day before on a Friday. Asked if you had any new makeup, and they said no. And then I went onto the website when I got home, and they said that they did have them. So the next day I drove all the way back there. Where is that palette? So then I got it. So this is definitely like a nice, almost like a peachy shade. Definitely can use every single day. Even maybe mix it up with the Bebo palette, because this shade is very pretty. So I'm just bringing this into the inner corner just a little bit as well, just to blend everything out. Let's go into the shade Magma, which is the darkest brown in the palette. And I'm going to use the Sigma E47. And I want to make a small line because I want to do a crease cut. So I'm going to look straight forward, and I'm going to trace this above my eye here and bring it out a little bit towards the brow. And I want to be able to see this when my eye is open and also closed. I'm bringing this into the inner corner as well. Just trying to sketch that eye shape that I want, and then we'll clean it up. And just intensifying it, and then just bringing out or bringing up the shade a little bit too. It's a very interesting, I don't want to say like a cool tone brown, but it is very pretty though. Just trying to push it out past my brow just a little bit. So I'm going to go back into that E40 brush and a little bit of Beach again, and we'll blend out the top edge of this here. So I'm going to go into a Sigma E38 brush. I'm going to pick up a little bit of that Magma shade, and let's blend this shadow out a little bit. I'm going to go into the shade Suntan, which is the little bit lighter of the brown from Magma, which is right there. And I'm going to use that same brush, that E38 brush, and I'm going to try to diffuse and blend this out a little bit. Now to the fun stuff. So I've been loving the Pat-McGrath concealer. Nice glass casing for it too. So I'm going to use that again today. And I'm going to use the Sigma Shader E56. It's one of the smaller sizes. This is my go-to brush for when I want to do my brows. I love this brush. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna cut out the concealer. So I'm going to put this on my eyelid, look up, and that is where the top needs to be. Trick for people that have never done that before. And then we'll go ahead and clean up the inner corner as well. And then put the concealer all over the eyelid. And I'm just gonna go into the Natasha Denona The Biba palette because I need a shade that is like a bone or a white color. So I'm gonna use the Shadow Tusk, which is a matte white shade. And I'm going to use a BH Cosmetics number 5 brush. Pick up a generous amount of that shade and tap it on the eyelid all over to set the concealer. And then we can go ahead and re-intense the darker shade, which is the Magma shade right there. So I'm going to use the Morphe E36 brush, just a little brush, just to darken up that line. And then I'm going to go in the shade. It's like I almost want to use like this High Degree and Bliss shade. So this is High Degree and that's Bliss. And I'll go ahead and swatch these for you. And these are the two shades. So this is High Degree and that is Bliss. Almost like I should put Bliss all over the lid and that as well. It's very pretty. I'm going to use a BH Cosmetics number 7 brush. And I'm going to use the shade High Degree. And let's put this all over the lid. And we'll go all the way up to that dark crease shade as well. I almost think that this would work really nice with like either like a black base, maybe make it a little bit more intense, or maybe if I wetten the brush. But I'm using everything without any spray like MAC Fix Plus yet. And that's very nice. I like this shade. It's very pretty. Just gonna bring this a little bit into the inner corner. Let's try using my finger. So I'm gonna go in with the High Degree on my finger and let's try patting this on as well. And yes, that definitely made the shade a lot more intense. And I wanna go in with a little bit of Bliss, maybe on the center of the lid. So I'll go ahead again and I'll take my finger and go in with Bliss, more of like a pinky shade. And it definitely has a really cool gold reflect to it. And just pat it over top and just brings a little bit of a different color to it. Cool. I love this. Definitely neat. So now I want to do next is let's put a little wing on it. I'm going to use the Fenty Beauty eyeliner and I'm just going to put a half wing on the eye and connect it to the darker shade. Definitely brings like the more elongated look to the eye. All right, let's go ahead and work with the lower lash line. So I'm gonna go in back into the palette and we'll go into the shade Magma. And I'll use that Sigma E47 brush and we'll put this just in the outer third of the eye. And then just wiping off that brush, I'm gonna go into the shade Suntan and that same brush and go into the inner of the lower lash line. I'm going to use a Sigma E38 brush and a little bit more mixture of Suntan and Beach. Go back and forth between the two shades and we'll put this to blend out the lower lash line. What I'm going to do is pick up a little bit more of Bliss on my little MAC 242 brush and I'm going to put this in the inner corner and on the lower lash line. And then I'm going to go ahead and put some mascara on my lashes and I will be back and then we can look at the first two looks together. Be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. I did put some of the MAC Costa Riche eyeliner on my lower waterline. And then also I did use the NARS Climax mascara again, but then I also mixed it with the Chanel La Volume de Chanel mascara. And this stuff always makes my lashes look so nice. Definitely like a typical one, almost like everybody else's. The difference between the NARS is a little bit of a larger, and then contours. And then if I was actually going to be doing the rest of my makeup, I would probably just clean this up a little bit on the outer edge. But this is what the second eye looks like. And maybe I would have put some falsies as well to accentuate the longer eye as well. But this is what the first two eyes look like completed. Let me know what you guys think, if you guys like this style of video, and if you want me to do more of these looks in the future. So this is what eye look number 2 looks like, eye look number 1. I will be back after wiping all of this off, besides for my brows, hopefully. And then we will go ahead and work on the look number 3. I will be back in just a few minutes. For you guys, a couple seconds. Okay. I'm still drinking my stuff. Hydrate, good thing to do. Okie-dokie, so my last look, I did this little halo spotted eye, and I also had to incorporate some of the gold palette. I did need to use one shade, so you'll be quite pleased when you get to that point of the third look. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I already primed my eyes again, and I used the Pat-McGrath concealer. I think I might need to get the foundation. Please let me know in the comments below if I should drop my cash for the foundation. So I'm gonna go ahead and we are jumping back into the bronze palette, and I am going to use the BH Cosmetics number 7 brush with Deep Dive. And this is one of the new formulations that's like that creamy formula, and I just load up this brush till like it is packed on there, and I'm going to first start stamping this in the outer of my eye. And this is quite intense if you start with packing it on, but then when you blend it out it definitely gets a little bit less intense. And I'm putting this shade in the inner corner as well, with not as much on the brush, and I'm just patting it on there very softly. So I'm just tapping this on, just getting some of the pigmentation here. And then I am using a Smith 230 brush. I need to get more of these Smith brushes. I definitely love them a lot. Just they're a little pricey and it takes a little bit of time to get them. I'm just blending this out just a little bit with that brush, doing a little bit of circular motions just to blend it out, and lightly in the inner corner as well, and connecting them in the center, not picking up any other shade yet. So as you can see, the pigmentation does go away when you blend the shades. So then you just go back in, pick up more, intensify, blend out, and repeat until you are happy with it. I'm gonna go ahead and do this again. Maybe I'll go through speed. I'm just gonna pick up a little bit on that brush, connect the two sides together, see what I'm trying to do. And I'm just gonna go in with a brush that has nothing on it. I have the M441, and blending out the edges. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to do my foundation before actually doing this, and I'm happy that I didn't as of yet, because I did get a little bit of, I did get some of the shadow on my lower lash line and down through. Next, I'm going to use the Sigma shader brush that I use for my brows, and also some of the Pat-McGrath concealer, just a little bit, so we can go ahead and put this on the lid. Look up. Kind of same trick that I used for that little crease. Drag it down, make a little bit of a halo here. I'm just gonna go ahead and pat the center of my lid down with my finger just to blend out some of that concealer on both sides. Just to get the base for the other shades. What I'm going to go into the next shade is Rhodium, and I'm going to start off first with a Morphe M167 brush, And I'm going to intensely build up that shade in the middle of my eye. Gotta go into the shade a couple times to get this on. Make sure that there's a lot of coverage. And then I also went in with my finger just to tap some of the shade on as well. Went in back in with that BH Cosmetics number 7 brush and a little bit of Deep Dive again, and just re-intensified and also blended the edge from the outer to the center on both sides. The next shade I'm going to go into is Palladium, and I'm just going to use my finger to apply that. And this shade is really, really pretty. Let's go ahead and pat this on the center as well. And then I went into the shade True Silk and just put a little bit of that on my finger and patted it just right in the center. And it just gave a little bit of an extra dimension to all of this center magic that's going on. And this turned out really, really neat. I love it a lot, but this is where I had to jump out of that palette and I had to go into the gold palette. The only shade that I did use was Spark, and this is Spark right here. If you have the gold palette, you know exactly why I went into the shadow. It just gives like a little kiss of extraness. So I'm just going to go ahead and tap this on, and it just blends everything and just gives it a really neat, good top coat. I guess that's what I would just call it for, is a top coat, just to make everything so much nicer. You see that? So pretty. The last thing for my lid is that I am going in with the Kat Von D tattoo liner in Trooper. This is the limited edition packaging, and I like this liner a lot, and I'm just going to put a very small line on my lash line from the inner corner to the outer corner. And then I'm going to go back in with the Chanel, and this is the La Volume de Chanel mascara, and this baby pumps up your lashes. So this is what I'm going to be taking a pause with. I'm going to go ahead and do my foundation off camera, the rest of my face as well off camera, and then we will pop back in. We will do the lower lash line, and we will do some of the lips with the new Pat-McGrath lips that I got, okay? I will be back after this is done. All right, hang tight. All right, I'm back, and I have my foundation, my concealer, and my blush on, and some highlighter. I didn't want to do too much today because I wanted the most of the focus to be on my eyes, and we are going to jump back in to the rest of my face. I did use the La-mer foundation. I also used the Pat-McGrath concealer with a little bit of the Fenty concealer on top just to brighten it up just a little bit. The Fenty cream bronzer and also powder bronzer. Laura Mercier Peaches blush. And I used the Natasha Denona highlighter in the blush and highlight duo. And I took some of the Laura Mercier translucent powder, dusted around my whole face, and this is what my face looks like. And I just set my face a little bit with the Skindinavia the Makeup Finishing Spray. So I'm now going to go ahead and we're going to go back into the face. If you can hear the rain, it is pouring down. It just started now. Hopefully it won't be too much of a bother. So I'm going to go ahead. I did just put a little bit of the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Purple Velvet in my lower waterline, and I'm just letting it sit in there just a little bit because I tear up very easy with when I put stuff in my lower lash line. So I'm just going to go ahead and we are going to jump back into the bronze palette. I'm going to do the same thing as what we did for my eyelid as what we're going to do for the lower. Go in with Deep Dive first, and we're just going to be getting a little bit smaller brushes to do that. I'm going to use a Morphe MB19. Load this little guy up, and we're going to go ahead and put this on the inner area and also the outer area. I'm going to grab this Bare Minerals Rock and Roll double-sided ended brush, and I'm going to use the smaller end. I'm just going to blend that out a little bit. Grabbing the Smith 230 brush, and connecting the outer corner to the lower. Just blending it out a little bit. Gonna go in with this Morphe E36 brush, and we are going to pick up a little bit of palladium and we'll mix it with silk. And we're gonna put this in the center of the lower lash line and connect it with the inner and the outer corner. Gonna use this Dose of Colors double-ended brush that you get with the palettes, and I'm going to pick up a little bit of the rhodium shade. And what I'm gonna do with this one is I'm gonna blend this a little bit lower to connect everything and a little bit of blending it out. And just bringing it down a little bit on the lower lash line to try to hide my eye bag. I am not the only one that does this trick as well, okay? I'm gonna go back into the gold palette one more time as well. We're gonna pick up the Spark shade right here. And let's go ahead and flip that double-ended brush over and pick it up on the smaller side. We're gonna go into the Natasha Denona, the Biba palette, and I'm going to go in with the shade Shine. I have my MAC 242 that we've been using, and let's pat this in the inner corner. Now we just have to do the lower lashes. My favorite, as always, is the MAC Extended Play Giga Black Lash Mascara. And we're going to put a coat of mascara on the lower lashes. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to apply some lashes off camera. I am going to apply these ones, and we will be back, and then we will finish up with the lips. Be right back. Alright guys, so I did actually get some lashes on, and I actually only got them on in one try. I'm gonna let them sit and actually sit on for a little bit. Alright, so I found a lip liner. I'm going to use the Charlotte-Tilbury, and this is the Lip Cheat, and this is in Iconic Nude. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to line my lips. I'm gonna do a little bit wider in the center and stick with my outer a little bit as possible. Alright, so you can see that my center of my upper lip is a lot more plumper than what it looks like without it. And then the first lipstick I'm going to go into is the Pat-McGrath, and this is the Passion Flower, but this is like a lip fetish sheer color balm. And I'm going to go ahead and apply that. And this is what it looks like again. It's a really pretty color. And then lastly, I'm going to go in with the shade Gold Astral, and this is a lip fetish lip balm as well. And this is what this one looks like. And this gives it a little bit of an extra color. I'm just going to go ahead and then set my face one more time. I'm going to use the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist just to go all over my face. And then I'm just going to go into my Giorgio Armani, and this is the Luminous Silk Compact in the shade 5. And I'm just going to use that Morphe brush that I was actually using earlier with the translucent powder that I was going off camera with. And I'm just going to just pat this on my face just to set down the center to make sure that there's no creasing. So what do you guys think? I am loving this. The eyes definitely turned out really, really nice. I think I used almost every shade in this palette. I didn't use 2 shades. So, and what do you guys think of the lips? Definitely brings in with a little bit of the cheeks, but I wanted the most of it to be with the eyes. I hope you guys enjoyed this today with my eyes and my lips. Please make sure that you give me a big thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel right down there. Right there, hit that little notification bell too. And I will see you guys on the next one, and I will see you guys later. Bye.